Walmart cuts pay. NYC hit by a huge hailstorm.
What the hell?
Cat-5 or Category 5 Hurricane Lee, and Florida Billionaire Home Insurance problems. Or, I don't know if they're really problems.
Not for billionaires.
Yeah, you're right. The billionaires, they don't really have the same problems most people have. A lot of people who are nowhere near billionaire status are wondering if the banks are safe and where to put their money. And odds are the banks are perfectly fine. They really are, more than likely. Besides the one-off instance of an account closure or freezing of funds or whatever that gets blown out of proportion and over-exaggerated. But the billionaires, it seems like they don't really have a care in the world, really. But honestly, growing up, I never thought that I would ever be a Florida resident. But some 35 years later, and here I am, or here we are, really.
Which is lovely.
I don't know if you ever thought about being a Florida resident growing up.
Talking to me or them?
You?
Oh,
Or
every day of my life.
You guys, I don't know. Have you ever thought about where you live now in comparison to where you lived growing up? Like,
Every day of my life, this is where I wanted to be.
I never expected to live where I lived until I lived there, and then it's like, why didn't I live here sooner? But now we're living by the beach and also avoiding having to pay state income tax, so that's a plus. I'm originally from, which a lot of people probably don't know, I'm originally from New York and have slowly migrated further and further south over the years.
You're a bird.
Flat south. Not for the winter, just for good. And so is Florida technically the unofficial retirement capital of America?
I would definitely say yeah.
My eyes are like extremely red. Like, this is crazy.
From walking around on the beach earlier.
Walking around on the beach, and now I'm tired.
And you're
like,
tired.
The walk on the beach was fun, but draining. Like,
Sun drains you. I told you were a vampire in a past life.
but have you heard the latest? Have you guys heard the latest? New York City is hit by a sudden storm that's canceled over 200 flights across New York and New Jersey as locals share concerns over creepy-looking clouds. And forecasters warn that East Coast could soon be hit by a Category 5, 165-mile-an-hour Hurricane Lee.
When you said, have you heard the latest, I thought you meant the scuttlebutt.
Scuttlebutt. No, I don't think so.
I love Aquafina.
And, 165-mile-an-hour Hurricane Lee, I'm trying to relate that to what we watched last night with Haggerty and some of these top speeds on some of these cars. And, I think 165 might have been close to the quarter-mile trap speed of that new Lucid Sapphire, which is...
Lucid was, that person used to work for...
doors off of that Tesla Plaid.
Which is interesting because the guy who runs Lucid used to work for Elon Musk and then he left and started his own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of weird because I was thinking about that. Pretty much any job that I've noticed, it's like once you get through the honeymoon phase, you start to realize some of the things you don't really like about the job. Although the job may still be good and better than all the others, you still start to identify the things you don't really like about it.
Or the things that you go, you know what, if I'm doing this here, I could do this for myself. I could do this better. They're not listening to me. I can make improvements or whatever. And obviously, if the Lucid is beating the Tesla, there's an improvement there.
But in Florida, completely unrelated to jobs, on Star Island, which is Miami's most exclusive zip code, that's home to Jennifer Lopez, or J-Lo, Sean Diddy Combs, Alex Rodriguez, and Ken Griffin.
So not Billionaire Bunker.
Star Island, no, this is different.
Oh, at least they have their own.
This is different than the other one. But the residents' homeowners' insurance bills are an insanely shocking $622,000 per year, according to Bloomberg.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it, though. It's in proportion to the cost of their homes. You're looking at $32 million homes. You're getting a steal in your homeowner's insurance. You should thank your lucky stars and keep it moving.
Are there onions in there?
You can smell them. The red onions. I can't wait to kiss you goodnight.
Strong. But it says the six-figure sum is a sharp increase from the same policy last year, which was quoted at $200,000.
Well, labor prices have gone up immensely during inflation. Cost of goods and materials have gone up immensely. So, of course, your insurance is going to go up to stay in line with those things.
Rising costs of construction materials and labor, just as you said. When damage to these homes occurs, especially on an island, could be contributing on top of the climate crisis. And a string of hurricanes in Florida, including Hurricane Idalia, which hit Florida's Gulf Coast just last week, and Hurricane Lee, which could potentially make landfall in South Florida next week, have heightened worries about climate change, hiking home insurance costs along with it.
You know, I read a thing today that says this is the second hottest year in the history of being able to keep track of temperatures.
It's hot. It was hot today. I wore a black t-shirt too. Didn't matter. But curious, how many of you guys watching are in South Florida? How many of you guys are paying attention to the models of Hurricane Lee and the trajectory, the path, the intensity
along the East Coast?
How many of you have made your run to Costco or Sam's Club or Walmart to get what you need, or how many of you are planning to evacuate? Depending, I don't know. I need to look at Hurricane Lee. I looked at Idalia because it was coming to the Gulf, making its way to the Gulf, and we also had people coming to visit us, which coincidentally we have people coming to visit us next week.
Well,
also with another hurricane coming to Florida. So every time people visit us, hurricanes.
I think Florida is going to be pretty much safe. I think they're worried about it hitting New York a little harder than anywhere.
It says South Florida. It says South. Okay, well maybe this whoever
maybe
wrote
the trajectory has changed.
Maybe who wrote this is just trying to get South Florida fired up. But we do have friends coming, and they're going to be here also at the same time as our 15-year wedding anniversary.
It'll be fun.
So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And we also had some requests to do some live streams from aboard boats. So we may have just this massive party on a boat, anniversary, live stream. You guys are more than welcome. You're invited to come hang out with us.
Now, I do want to apologize for eating on camera, but I was planning the snack before I knew we were recording. I made some really good guacamole yesterday. Fresh avocado, fresh tomato, fresh red onion, some blue chips. It doesn't look that great right now because it's got a little juice to it, but it was real tasty.
Got that juice. Got that juice.
I still need my snack.
So it says a string of hurricanes in Florida, including Idalia and Lee, could potentially hike home insurance costs along with it. So, yeah, let me know. Any of you guys in Florida watching? And also, if so, what has the homeowners insurance situation been like for you? Have you received any notifications, any notices, any increases, any non-renewals, anything? Have you seen any drones flying over your homes to inspect your roofs or what's in your yard or whatever, in your pool maybe?
It occurs to me when our apartment rent goes up, it's not just because they're keeping in line with the market. It's probably going up also to help cover their higher insurance costs each year.
Well, yeah, and the expected increase because they'll be on mostly 12-month leases. So if you renew, so like for us, we will renew in February. All right, so we will renew in February, but then they got to think, well, is our insurance going to go up in July, August, September, October? And if it is, then we need to like account for that way before in February. But maybe not account for it too much where it makes people want to leave. I don't know. But either way, let me know if you were watching the live stream and if you were walking with us this afternoon or this evening when we were on the beach. I'm just kind of curious because I know some people said that they came over from this channel to watch, and we were really happy to have you. Really cool to see so many people show up just to hang out and have a chat and conversation and walk the beach and enjoy the sunset and some of the crazy things that we saw walking up and down just this little stretch of beach here. Michelle and I, we did our first ever live stream from the beach to catch the Friday sunset, and I have to say that it was pretty magical.
It was lovely. I enjoyed it immensely.
It was a lot of fun. It was also a channel first, so that was pretty cool. We didn't have to deal with Hurricane Idalia. You guys may have remembered that morning when it hit. We did bring you guys a video, and we also brought a live stream just to kind of show you what it looked like. But we didn't even have it wasn't even windy here.
No, but 48 hours later, we did get some hellacious rain driving home where I couldn't go over 22 miles an hour because the tires in the Jeep, it just wasn't working.
Yeah, that was a lot of rain. That was a lot of rain. We sat there in the Jeep waiting for it to kind of like chill out before we made a run for it. Then the kid dropped her AirPod. Is it earpods or AirPods?
AirPods. I call them AirPods.
She dropped her AirPods underneath the Jeep while we were trying to get out. Like, can't make this stuff up. But we didn't have to deal with anything like hurricane-y here. But again, where we live isn't typical Florida, or at least what comes to mind when most people think of Florida, in my opinion. And I honestly don't think that I could bring myself to live in Miami.
No.
Nothing against the folks
You'd
who
have to
live
live
there,
by yourself.
but that it's just not my scene. It's not my vibe, really, down in Miami. But the live stream here, the beach was actually probably a little bit busier than I had expected, but it is a Friday afternoon, Friday evening. The weather was nice. The water's
really
still
good.
warm. There's a lot of people out there fishing, windsurfing. We saw a few jellyfish washing up. Luckily, we didn't get stung as we were walking through the water, ankle deep, with the live stream. But I think everybody really liked it, and they're looking forward to more.
I am.
More of those live stream events. It actually started off with a recording from a beach sunrise. And then I was just like, well, we did the sunrise. Y'all want to see a sunset? And the sunrise, actually, our moms were there for that.
Fun.
And then the sunset today on the live stream, our moms were there too, but they were watching. They were spectators on the live stream.
They'll be back before Halloween, so we'll just do it again.
Yeah, for sure. They will be back. Something about, living near the beach.
Makes people want to visit more.
Yeah. So, they'll be back for Halloween. We got friends coming down for they're coming down during our anniversary, but not necessarily for our anniversary.
Well, they're coming here for our anniversary. They're not going to be here.
Oh, gotcha.
They're coming a little extra farther to see us.
And then
we have more friends coming after the moms come.
Yeah.
Before Thanksgiving.
They're coming down from Nashville. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I love it here.
But I don't know if you guys heard about this one. Walmart's cutting its starting pay for new hires who prepare online orders and stock the shelves.
So what you're saying is they're about to be underemployed.
So Walmart, they've already made a cut to the pharmacists, the salary pharmacists. They said that the pharmacists were getting paid too much to be ringing up customers because ultimately there are some products that are locked up in the pharmacy that the customers want. And they were weight loss products that they said. And so the customers would come over there to get them, but then the pharmacists that are getting paid really substantial amounts of money are not really doing their job per se because all they're doing is ringing up weight loss supplements.
So what makes more sense is to keep paying the pharmacists their pay and let them do their job and move those things somewhere else and have an actual regular style employee take care of it. Because you know who you don't want to piss off? The person who decides your pharmaceuticals. Like, you never know. They may get pissed off one day and just drop one extra something in there and that's the one thing that could possibly kill you. That's not who you want to make mad.
Nah, you're absolutely right. But, this is kind of like a little bit of a string. So they start off with the pharmacists, and now they're moving on to the new hires and the online order pullers and those folks stocking the shelves.
Which are the majority of Walmart employees at this point. Every time I've been to Walmart, there are more employees walking around pulling a cart with the little blue bins in there filling pickup orders than anything, or stocking shelves. There's no cashiers anymore. There's maybe 3 or 4. Everything else, there are so many self-checkout lines. They've turned the conveyor belt ones into self-checkout lines. So basically they're trying to make more profit for themselves. Screw the people.
You think they'll ever go to the scan thing like Sam's Club?
No. Costco will never do it either because Costco is too high traffic, so is Walmart to do it. I think Sam's Club is a little easier to get away with. Where you can self-scan while you shop and then check out on your app, and then they scan it at the door on the way out. There would be too much confusion and backup anywhere else.
So Walmart says they cut the starting pay for new store employees who pick and pack online orders and stock shelves, raising questions of whether companies face a cooling labor market or adjusting to a return to pre-pandemic shopping habits.
I don't see how any of that matters. whether it's pre-pandemic shopping habits or it is a cooling, whatever they wanted to call it,
labor market,
you still have people that need to get paid to do their job. So if you were paying $15 an hour for this job, just because you think there's less shoppers coming into the store, that doesn't mean anything. You still need to pay the people a living wage, if you will.
Well, this is essentially what Jerome Powell has, said last year. Pain will be felt by families and businesses, and then ultimately shrinking the economy. So basically, he raises the interest rates to try to tame inflation. That then makes it less, like it cools the shopping or consumer disposable income for shopping. So then the stores are selling less. So they're going to try to increase sales by getting more aggressive with pricing, which ultimately brings down the price, which ultimately combats inflation. But in doing so, they're going to have to cut somewhere. So it's going to cut the hours, or I'm sorry, the pay. But it's also going to cut the hours, because that's how Walmart's going to save on some of these pharmacies, by cutting their hours.
You know what makes the most sense? Instead of doing all that, just go ahead and lower your prices so people can afford to live, and then you'll have more people shopping and everybody will be happy.
And also, I think there's something being pushed through the White House or the administration right now about paying overtime hours at 40 plus for salaried, instead of 45 or more.
Which will just take away salary
options. I think Walmart's a little bit ahead of the curve on making adjustments here, but is it because of a cooling labor market, or is it because of return to pre-pandemic shopping habits?
Or is it because they want to make sure that they keep the same amount of money in their pockets with their profits and not take any losses there?
The retailer confirmed that starting wages were reduced in July for personal shoppers and stockers who now join the company. Those workers help prepare orders for curbside pickup or delivery to customers' homes and replenish store shelves. New Walmart employees who join the digital or stocking teams now make about $1 an hour less than they would have if hired several months ago.
Which is dumb, because they're doing the same job, pulling the same orders, doing everything else, and without those people, you don't have products on your shelves. Therefore, if customers do come in, they have nothing to buy.
So there was like a little sweet spot there. Like, if you had already worked for Walmart, you weren't going to get more money. But there was a time where pretty much anywhere, if you were to be a new hire, you would get paid more because there was a labor shortage. So now it's kind of going back. So
now they're saying there's not a labor shortage.
Yeah. So Walmart spokeswoman Ann Hatfield said no current employees in those roles had their pay cut. As part of the change in July, Walmart also tweaked pay bands for more experienced employees, leading to a wage raise for approximately 50,000 store employees, is what she said. Walmart, as the biggest private employer in the U.S. with 1.6 million people, is a closely watched company for economists and industry leaders, including many who have scoured for signs of whether inflation of wages and of merchandise is cooling. And it had hiked its minimum wage for store employees from $12 to $14 in January as the labor market remained tight and its pay trailed behind rivals like Amazon and Target. So technically, if they drop it $1, it's still $1 more than it was back before January.
Which is great, because everything's probably $1.50 more than it was back before January.
And Amazon was paying like $20, I think. Hatfield declined to say if the company has seen it become easier to hire. And in a statement, Walmart said it made the change so its starting pay was consistent, whether a store employee worked at the cash register, stocked shelves, or helped with online orders, which was something we noticed at Buc-ee's. Literally, everybody at Buc-ee's gets paid pretty much the same.
Yeah, they get paid the same price no matter what they do, whether they register, whether they're putting up sandwiches, whether they are restocking shelves. It's all the same pay. And you could do any job any day.
Let's see here. So they said that a consistent starting pay results in consistent staffing and better customer service, while also creating new opportunities for associates to gain new skills from experience across the store and lay the groundwork for their career regardless of where they start, is what the statement said. Technically, Doug McMillon, the CEO, $30 million a year, he started unloading trucks for Walmart.
It's a whole lot of profit.
The news of wage changes was first reported by the Wall Street Journal, and the higher pay took effect in March of 2021 for Walmart's personal shoppers and stockers, and it raised wages for 425,000 employees, making their starting rates range from $13 to $19 per hour based on the store's location and market.
Now, I can say that if everybody's getting paid something different and you went in to apply for a job and they're like, well, you can be a cashier. You're like, I don't want to be a cashier. They make $12. I want to be whatever this is that makes $14. So you would have less people applying for a specific position. Then you'd have less people to fill that position. And then you have more self-checkouts because you have
I was going to say, like, if the people just say, I don't want to be a cashier because it doesn't pay enough, was it Walmart pushing them out to bring in self-checkout? Or was it them saying, I don't want to do it? Or was that Walmart's way of pushing them out by making it less enticing?
On them and making it seem more about,
With the move, Walmart treated those employees more like specialists. It also has higher starting pay for some other roles, such as employees who decorate cakes in its bakery or change oil in its auto centers. I'll go for the oil change because I don't think I could decorate a cake.
I couldn't either. I'd eat the cake before I could decorate it.
I think it looked jacked up.
That's what I meant. It would look jacked up.
It looked jacked up because it was bitten into.
That's probably accurate.
At the time of the change, the big box retailer was seeing higher grocery and e-commerce sales. More Americans were getting their dosage for the pandemic and springing for items to help them get out and about again, such as teeth whitening or whitener. So I'm not going to say certain words because, I mean, I know I see other channels doing it and saying it, but I also don't want YouTube to ever like change their mind and say if you've ever said the V word, then
you're done.
Or the C word.
You're done.
You're done.
You can't say the C word. That's a different word.
Oh, yeah, it's a different one.
Be careful.
But yeah, teeth whitening. Somebody actually left a comment. I don't know. I'm not going to edit this video, but somebody's like, why don't you get your teeth fixed? I was like, what does this have anything to do with
Why don't you get your personality fixed?
What does this have anything to do with my video?
No, I like your teeth.
But it says, I have a whole collection of really mean and hateful negative comments that have been left on my channel that typically get blocked and hidden, but I'm saving them. And maybe one day we'll just have a party and just like...
I was doing that too, and then I realized, no, they don't need any attention, and I don't need that taking up space in my brain, so I deleted them all.
Yeah, they would not get attention. Like, I black out their name and stuff, but I've actually seen other channels do it. And I saw like
Jimmy Kimmel does it, yeah.
And I saw the cast of Marvel.
Yeah.
Avengers do it.
What is my favorite one? With the one who plays Captain America, what's his name? Chris Evans has the personality of a potato. I think, or the acting range of a potato. I think it's either him or Scarlett Johansson.
Tom Holland's the type of guy to clap when a plane lands or something.
Yeah. And then Zendaya's feet probably smell like Fritos, and so she took her shoe off. She was like, no, we're good. It was the weirdest thing ever.
And then Scarlett Johansson has the emotional range of...
That's what it is. Emotional range of a potato. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it says that in a company memo announcing the change at the time, Walmart U.S. CEO John Furner cited the sharp growth in company sales, along with seeing overall sales grow. He said the company picked 6 billion items for pickup and delivery in the previous year and had to move quickly to keep up with the fast-changing customer shopping habits.
I mean, that makes sense. When you couldn't go out, people were ordering online. Now that things are open back up, the people who want to be out and about are going back into the store. So you still need the people stocking the shelves. Hello. But anyway. Just saying.
Many retailers have seen shoppers return to more typical pre-pandemic shopping habits like visiting stores more and shopping less often, along with being more discerning about discretionary purchases. That's led to declining e-commerce sales at companies like Macy's and Target.
So here's my thing. Now when you go to the store and you're like, oh no, it's shortages again. Nope, it's just Walmart not hiring employees to stock the shelves.
Oh no.
The shortages, they're back.
Walmart has continued to put up strong online sales growth. E-commerce sales for Walmart US jumped 24% year over year in the fiscal second quarter. It's mostly reported, it most recently reported 3 months period, but that is not as dramatic as the gains that the company posted during the early years of the pandemic. Yeah, so those numbers are, you gotta like put an asterisk by those numbers.
You're like regular life, pandemic, regular life.
You got to put an asterisk by those numbers.
Anything from 2020 to 2022 should have an asterisk next to it in life. Whether it's for Walmart, whether it's for a relationship, whether it's for work, doesn't matter. Your weight loss, weight gain, asterisk. Pandemic, okay? Pandemic. That's all we're saying.
Shares of Walmart touched a 52-week high on Thursday. So far this year, the company's stock is up about 15%. Just shy of the gains of the S&P 500, but ahead of many other retailers. We need to go ahead and check our M1 Finance account and see how that's doing, because that's where our Walmart shares are being held in the M1 Finance brokerage app or brokerage. They have a really easy app to use. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see the change, like the quick change that Walmart has somewhat like reacted to in the market. And honestly, I thought it was going e-commerce, and then there was a huge pivot. People are back in the stores, and Walmart is looking to amp up and ramp up their advertising efforts in the stores and in the parking lots and in the self-checkouts with curated advertisements for us, for you, for whoever's standing there.
I wish you were going to edit so you could put in the part where Ross is trying to move the couch up the stairs. And he's like, pivot, pivot.
Like yesterday when I helped those people like get that couch out, like,
oh yes,
they got it out. And I was like, man, y'all didn't.
Oh, the girl did a really good job too, because I mean,
it was like they were trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, and it was like.
Yeah.
He was so excited when he came around the corner because I know he was like, oh, I gotta open this other door. And I was holding the door. He's like, oh, look, thank you. And I was like, hey, you're welcome. And she was like, her knuckles, like I've done this when you and I have moved stuff. Her knuckles were white. Her face was that panic face of I'm about to drop this shit in the middle of the floor. It's gonna break the couch. He's gonna leave me. I'm gonna be stranded, whatever else. But she made it. She was smart. She actually said, babe, I gotta set this down for a second. Instead of trying to like muscle through and then dropping it on her own foot. Yeah. So that worked out well.
No, they did. They did get it. But look, I'm going to tell you guys right now. When it's time to move, I ain't doing it.
Hello,
we're going to hire it.
college boys.
Yeah, ain't going to be
college
no
hunks.
labor shortage for that one. Them jokers better show up and
You know
move
the
this
name
stuff.
of them? Two men in a truck. There's college hunks. How come there's no sorority divas who move stuff? You're like, no, I'll take the plates. Don't give me the heavy stuff. They can't move that. You should call the boys.
What do you guys think about what's happening in New York, New Jersey, Florida?
Joyzy.
The Billionaire Island or wherever.
That's Miami.
Or what was that
Outside
place
Miami.
called?
Billionaire Bunker.
No, it was called...
Indian Creek. Oh, the other one.
yeah,
I don't remember.
they call it...
J-Lo's personal dating playground. I know she's married now to Ben Affleck for now. We'll see how that lasts.
I can't remember what they call it.
Oh, there it is. It is here on Star Island.
Star Island.
That's an ego for you.
Yeah, so what do you guys think about what's happening with Walmart, New York, New Jersey, Florida, Star Island? And don't forget, let me know if you caught the live stream.
Who's Ken Griffin? I know who Ken Griffey Jr. is. Like, he's the baseball guy. But who's Ken Griffin?
Typed it wrong.
I think you meant Ken Griffey Jr.
Maybe, I don't know if it's... Is there a Ken Griffin?
It just sounds like the most basic white name ever. Hey, Ken Griffin.